Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Nashville Guitar Stories. Today I have with me the mighty RJ Ronquillo. I'd say he's the undisputed king of the internet gear demo, but he's also an educator, a great player, and one of the nicest guys you'll meet in Nashville. Without any further ado, let's get into it. I'm here with the mighty RJ Ronquillo in,
Welcome.
in his magic shop. This is where the magic happens. I decided to do it in his place because it blows my place away. You know, I'm actually thinking about having mock-up faceplates made with like jewel lights.
You should.
I should actually do it with cardboard and Sharpie, like
Yeah,
Soldano.
like dummy cab heads.
Yeah, just a little background if you don't know him. To me, this is one of the premier guys on YouTube making demos. As a matter of fact, the only problem I have with your demos is, well, it's the same problem I have with Pete Thorne. I mean, you play too good.
Ugh,
I know when I plug in
That's
this
a
stuff,
common,
it ain't gonna sound like that.
you know, it's that's been always it's a challenge for me. Sometimes, for the most part, the gear is great,
Mhm.
but sometimes you'll get a lemon that you have to make lemonade out of.
Sure,
So, and that's always a fun challenge to me.
sure. There's always another overdrive pedal to try.
Yeah. There
try
have
to
been
dial it
times
in.
where I've said no to gear because it was just absolutely dreadful, and it's just said nope, I can't do it. I'm not
Absolutely.
going to put it on my channel. Yeah. So
Well, the thing about free stuff is that sometimes it'll let you down in a critical situation, like in a professional situation.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it compromises the gig, then how cheap was it really?
totally.
But what really blows me away about your demos is, well, there's the production quality, but there's also just the playing. I wanted to talk about that some. Like, I understand that you went to U of Miami,
Yeah. University of Miami.
and I was wondering how much that enters into it, because you sound so intentional when you're playing. I know that you're like an 80s freak. I mean, you do
Oh,
that
yeah.
really great. But there are a lot of guys who played what we call in the trade a lot of fast bullshit. The artistic intent, if you can even call it that, was to be really impressive. And it was like an arms race to see who could be the most impressive. So a lot of guys really were just running scales up and down. And what you do is light years away from that. It sounds so intentional and grounded, and like your phrasing and motifs are really memorable. Like, everything lands.
Yeah.
And
Thank
it's
you.
really solid. You're improvising all that stuff, aren't you?
Yes. 99% of the time I'm improvising stuff. It's very rare that I pre-compose any solo. But yeah, I would say going to the University of Miami and going to music school at the time that I did, I wouldn't say it informed my entire playing, but it was definitely a stepping stone. And I always say that about music schools in general. You're not it's not guaranteed you're going to be a great player when you graduate from music school. It's
No.
what you get from that, and then your next steps that develop you. It's just they basically help steer you towards who you are as a player, and it's up to you to, like, after you graduate, to, like, learn the stuff that you really want to learn, which is something that I didn't realize until after I had graduated from school. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do now? And my current style of playing took decades to figure out who I was as a player, who I wanted to be as a player.
Yeah, you had the courage to put some really early stuff up on your YouTube channel, and I can see the growth, like in your phrasing, your vibrato, like your time feel, everything. Like from when you were, the stuff on his YouTube channel from when he was like an adolescent, and which is really brave. I don't know if I'd have the guts to do that, but I can see the journey. But did you learn some foundational concepts that work for you when you're playing? Like, are you visualizing triads? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I learned a lot of the jazz harmony concepts, the modal stuff, and it was really. I always say that my idol at the time was Andy Timmons, because he was a player. So I used to go to a National Guitar Summer Workshop, which was a guitar camp in Connecticut. Fantastic. In the summer, and a lot of great, Jeff McErlane was a teacher there. A lot of great people came through there that I discovered recently. But
yeah, I'm sending my son to Andy Woodshed.
Oh yeah,
Actually, the next one, Paul Gilbert is his idol, so he's going to be over the moon.
Ooh, I love guitar summer camps.
I highly recommend that for any young fellas or anybody that has a son or a daughter that's interested in guitar. It's just being around guys who are further along or out there in the world doing it is absolutely invaluable. But I digress.
Yeah. But well, Andy Timmons was a guest at one session that I went to, the first session that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, this would have been 1990, I would
Mhm.
say. So he might have just left Danger. So I knew him as a hairband guy.
Mhm.
And I was at camp learning jazz. I was like, oh, I'm a hardcore jazzer. I don't play rock or metal anymore.
Mhm.
And I remember he came into our jazz class and just started ripping jazz solos. And I was just blown away. Like, I didn't know that you could combine, hard rock with jazz and fusion and do it so well. And to this day, I still find his playing is the most interesting playing to me, because it is a little bit of shred. It's a little bit of, jazz concepts. It's also a little bit of just like, pop vocabulary and Beatles and stuff. So it's just, I almost feel like I've modeled my style slightly on Andy's style, just as far as
He's a very melodic player.
yeah, a tasteful melodic
Mhm.
and pulling from different influences, because I have a ton
You
of
have a ton of
different
different influences,
Yeah,
yeah.
which can be, a detriment as far as like, sometimes I want to play like this, sometimes I want to play like,
Mhm.
I want to be a 50s rockabilly guy, or I want to be Steve Vai. I can't decide what day.
Oh, me too. I mean, you've seen my Instagram. I have total ADHD.
Yeah,
It's like flipping the dial around a radio, but I like that. It keeps it interesting.
yeah, that's
And-
part of my style in my life, I guess.
But having an influence like that early on is really so essential. That reminds me of my experience with Steve Vai. I took some lessons with him. I got him for $10 an hour.
Wow.
I'm older than I look.
Where
And-
was this?
I was at Berkeley. I was there
Okay.
during a summer program, and he was playing four-dimensional chess when everybody else in the rock world was playing checkers.
Yeah.
That's how I put it.
Totally.
And he also sent me to the library to listen to Holdsworth. He said,
Oh,
I was
wow.
because I was complaining about jazz. I didn't want to play jazz, and the instructors, that was like, I just got an eye roll. My intake interview, they were like, "We're gonna have to start all over again. Go to the library and listen to Pat Martino." And now at the time, I was young and dumb and full of hormones, and I didn't realize the genius of what I was hearing. I mean, now with Pat Martino,
Yeah.
he's a wizard. But at the time, it just sounded like Leisure Suit Larry stuff.
Yeah.
So there was no legato, there was no burn tone. That was all I cared about. So he's like, "Oh, no problem. Go to the library and pick out a record called Tony Williams' Lifetime. Believe it. There's a guitar player on there you probably like." So I did, and
Yeah, totally. But you were probably interested in the technical aspect as opposed to like the musical and harmony, because a lot of
Yeah.
times, when I started listening to fusion, like Frank Gambale, I didn't understand what the heck was going on. It was
yeah,
just
what's
like
an
a
upper
bunch
stretch
of
or triad?
yeah, like the harmony sounded like this sounds wrong.
Yeah.
These are wrong notes.
Mhm.
But like the shredding aspect was like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't understand musically at the time what was going on. So
Well, the thing is that you intuit that stuff early on, right? I started out playing in punk rock bands, like at CB's in Max's, Kansas City. I'm a New Yorker, and the band leader would yell at me, like, "Stop playing wrong notes." And I was like, that was one of the first things that I said to Steve. He was like, "Well, what do you mean? Play me something." And I did, and he was like, "I know this is right." And he's like, "You're correct. That's called the Mixolydian mode, and here's how it works. Here's a major scale. Here's all the modes. Here's how they fit together." That was one lesson.
yeah.
So you're playing music and not just licks. As rock players, we tend to focus on licks, and we often skip over the underlying structure, like what's actually, like the bones of the thing.
Yeah. There was a time, I should say, when I was living in LA and I was going to these open jams where it almost seemed like you had to show off as much as possible.
It's like a cutting contest, yeah.
It wasn't even I guess it was kind of a cutting contest, but it was also more like, everyone had the mentality that if you played everything that you knew, that somehow you would get hired for, a Hannah Montana gig or something.
Right.
Which, like, I kind of I played the game for a little bit and then I
Mhm.
got tired of it. There was a time in LA where I was just like, I don't want to play fast anymore. I don't want to play with distortion. I just want to go amp and into, I mean, guitar into amp and just play slow and play blues. I
Mhm.
started getting into like old school blues at that time.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like the anti-LA thing that I was kind of
Yeah.
doing. But there was a time where, and it really depends in
Well,
the
you came in on the
community.
tail end of the LA thing when everybody was sick of it.
Yeah. It was weird. It was a fun time, but it was also a weird situation. But yeah, there was definitely a time where I overplayed.
Mhm.
And then it took me, I had to mature as a
Mhm.
player and figure out how I wanted to be as a player, because you and I both come from like a sideman
Mhm.
type of background where we're either copying other people's parts
Mhm.
or the CD or whatever, and kind of that's us.
Mhm.
We're basically playing the role of somebody else.
Mhm.
So doing that for so many years and not being able to develop your own personality as a player, that
Mhm.
took me a long time to do and to figure out who I was as a player.
Yes.
And it just kind of happened. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, and it's a good thing too because, well, I can tell you from experience, my bread and butter for the last 20 years was musical theater.
Mm.
I was one of the top guys in Toronto for like,
Well, I told you this story
yeah,
where I was auditioning for Cirque du Soleil
yeah.
and I was watching
Before
something
that, I
that
had
you were
Cirque. Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
because I had to learn your parts or something for an
It was
audition or
for,
something.
I guess you auditioned for Kidam, yeah.
Probably Kadam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And that's how I knew your name, because you had a really interesting name.
Yeah. You can't,
Like, who is this guy?
yeah. You've with a name like mine, you got to be careful in the age of Google. You can't blame it on the other Tristan Buck. But the thing is, between that and then going right into musical theater, which was great. I mean, it put food on the table. It put my kids through school. It put a roof over their heads. It was a real blessing, particularly when Brian May picked me up and put me in We Will Rock You. That's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm still playing that music today. But it really is the same thing every night. And at a certain point, I lost the ability to improvise. And I remember exactly when it hit me. There was a place, it's like the Baked Potato or the Underdog in Toronto. Now it's gone, unfortunately, but it was called the Orbit Room. It was the big muso hang. And I went to one of the open jam nights, and Ricky Tillo was on stage. I don't know if you know who he is.
Ricky from Lady Gaga's band.
Yeah, from Gaga. He's a phenomenal player, undoubtedly one of the best in Canada.
Yeah.
And he handed me his guitar. And well, I'd had a couple of drinks, but I went up there and I shit the bed in front of everyone. I just fell apart, and everybody knew it because it was the Orbit Room. And I realized, oh my God, I've been doing the same show every night. If you're in a long running show, you've got it made. It pays your benefits. It's a union gig. It's the same check every week. Nobody's trying to dick you out of
Yeah.
it. But you could actually lose the ability to improvise
Because that's all you do.
because that's all you do. And you think to yourself, I worked. I don't have to work on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to Nashville has really upped my game because all the top players anyway, everybody here knows how to do that. They know how to play intentionally. They know how to improvise. Session work in a lot of ways is improvising. You're composing on the spot because you got to be quick. What's session world been like for you? Because I would think with your improvisation skills and your command of tone and stuff that you'd be a natural fit.
It's funny. So I went to school, University of Miami, and my senior year, my goal was to actually move to Nashville and get into session work and songwriting. I visited here for a spring break, and then I was like, I don't think I like it. So I never, my intention back in '99 was to be here, but it took me 14 years to get here. But even when I moved here, I never really had I kind of lost my desire to be a session player. I did session work when I lived in Miami. It was fine. I wouldn't say that I was like a first call guy, but I did, a decent amount of work for a period of time. But after that, I had no desire, especially coming to Nashville and knowing that there was an A team that was solid, and knowing, the chances of a newbie getting into the Nashville session scene is like, 1%, because, as the saying goes, you got to wait till someone kicks the bucket to get into the scene or something, because it's just
Yeah, that's true everywhere, but especially here.
Yeah.
There's always a handful of guys that are doing everything, and they're phenomenal.
Yeah, which is, I mean, not to say that there have been people, new guys that have making a great career in the scene and
Mm-hmm.
gotten their foot in the door, which is great. But for me, I don't think I didn't want to pursue that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have capability here in my studio to do
Mm-hmm.
session stuff. So I have done remote work here and there for TV stuff, cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
some artists and whatnot. But it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely not. It hasn't been a goal of mine probably
Right.
since college.
Yeah, I went to a session. It was one of those demo sessions where a producer he lines up 5 writers and they blow out 2 songs a piece, like 10 songs in one day, like.
Yeah.
And there's Brent Mason sitting right there.
Wow.
It's like nobody needs me to do that. He's already here. He's played on 300 #1 records, and he's got it covered.
Yeah.
And then there's other guys. I mean, I'll cover some of them on my channel. Rob McNally is.
Rob, yeah.
He blows my mind. It's just I just feel like every angle is kind of covered, and that's
the
like
Nashville,
nobody needs me to be, Justin Ostrander from Wish.
the Nashville
already got
session
one.
people.
Yeah.
It's a specific type of musician.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of the session guys that can tour and do everything, but there's a certain mentality that session guys, particularly Nashville session people, have, that you can't just be a touring guy and think that, oh, I'm just gonna go do session work, because there is a way that they work and a pace that they work at that is like I think I did one session, and it was interesting to see how everything worked and how fast it operated. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but I don't think it's for me.
I love the hat, by the way.
I got this on a trip.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a big Bowie guy.
Oh, I love Bowie.
Yeah,
this
I'm actually very curious about the Ronsonois. Well, we'll get into that stuff later. You got out of school. You were touring for a while with a lot of Latin artists.
Yeah. So being in Miami at the time, like early 2000s, the only touring gigs available were, at least to me, were Latin pop, reggae, and like R&B, hip hop stuff.
Fantastic.
So
yeah, coming from New York, I've done a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, I think it was also the time period too, But no rock stuff, none of the stuff that I really wanted to do.
Yeah, let's face it, everybody wants to rock.
Yeah, you just want to play in a rock band. So that didn't happen until later. But the first touring gig I ever got was with a reggae band called Inner Circle, and they most famously do the theme song from Cops, and they have a couple other worldwide hits. But they were the first people to like hire me, which was interesting because it's like 5 Jamaican guys and then me on stage.
Oh, I've done that too.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
It's great. I am such a huge fan of reggae music, and they taught me a lot. Because the feel. Like I remember going in there thinking I knew how to play reggae, but I didn't. And they taught me, the exact feel, and the more that I would play with them, I would understand it. So that was a great start to my touring career. And eventually I got hooked up with some Latin artists, particularly Ricky Martin. How that started was I got asked to do the MTV Unplugged video recording session or whatever, which ended up being an album and also like a broadcast and like a DVD. And then the following year we did like a world tour, which also became an album and a DVD. So, and that carried on a couple more years, but that was like 2006, 2007 were my Ricky years.
Where did you guys play?
Everywhere. That tour was all U.S., Latin America, South America, a couple places in Europe, mostly Spain and Italy and Portugal. But it wasn't like, we didn't go to Asia or anything like that.
I have to say that the Latin American audience is my favorite audience in the world. I've been down there quite a lot with Mark, and it is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. They love music.
They love music. They love drama and passion. They love melody.
Yeah.
And you can't be you can't be too grandiose. I mean, they just eat it up. I mean, here with the advent of alternative, and everybody sort of became embarrassed by displays of emotion, like they shrink away from it, like, ugh.
Yeah.
And there's none of that down there.
And not to say that like their taste is like years behind, but they appreciate what at least I consider like great music. Like, you know,
Duende.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they love Freddie Mercury, they love
Yeah.
Journey, like great vocalists.
Yeah.
They can appreciate.
They're not ashamed of ability.
Yeah.
They're not ashamed of drama and performance energy and
Oh, yeah.
and emotion. They love it. And
Totally.
yeah, there's nothing that's eternal. I mean, there's nothing backwards about that. And it's like when you throw that out there and they throw it back, it's just the best feeling in the world.
Mm-hmm. That's really how it is in Latin America. And then
Mm.
Europe is fun. I think in general, the European crowds appreciate all styles of music.
Mhm.
I just feel like, you know, the crowds in the States just, it's too, nobody likes anything anymore in the States. But, you know, you go to Japan, you go to Europe, and they're very appreciative of, you know, all styles of music.
Yeah, and once again, there aren't the kind of like socio-cultural boundaries. Like it's all pop to them.
Mhm.
They don't I think in the States in particular, because of race, there were almost like two parallel industries, and the '60s kind of broke that down. But it's kind of baked in. Nobody really makes a distinction between R&B and rock, for example, in Europe. It's all pop music, and you can mix elements of both pretty freely.
Yeah.
And they dig it. Europe is different though, particularly when we play in Germany. They love the synth stuff.
Oh.
Like in Latin America, they love the guitar songs.
Yeah.
And they love the '80s stuff in Germany, particularly anything with. I think that's like their blues. But going back to blues, you know, speaking of foundational, I'm a little older than you, so I actually I was playing professionally in the '80s, and a lot of us thought that the blues were over, like everything had been said.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't be more wrong. When I go back to it now, I'm like, well, this is what they meant when they said that this is so foundational, that it's the basis of everything, because you've got the whole toolkit laid out in front of you, as far as like playing intentionally, phrasing, playing the changes. It's like all there. And because basically there's 3 chords and they're all dominant, it's like a big wide highway.
Mm-hmm.
There's
and if you think about our favorite players,
yeah,
it all unless your favorite player is like the Edge or something,
mm-hmm.
all our favorite players, it all stems back to the blues.
Yeah.
If you think about,
well, even the Edge, I mean, the U2, the conversation comes to mind is Bono was talking to Keith about the blues, and he was like, because they came from like Joy Division, right? That was their blues.
Right.
And what he said, I'm paraphrasing, was something like, well, where we're from, if you play blues, just means you're out of ideas. It's boring. And Keith said, mate, that's because you ain't heard real blues. If you had, you wouldn't be bored. You'd be scared.
Yeah. That's
and the next
quote.
album featured B.B. King.
Yeah, that's funny.
So even they got it.
Yeah.
It seemed to me that you made a deliberate pivot to YouTube and online presentation.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen his channel, I highly recommend it. I would consider this guy a mentor, really, because I've just started this journey myself. And there's a reason why he's on top. I mean, there's not only the quality of presentation, I mean, as you can see from where we're sitting, it's a marked difference from my own videos, but also just the quality of, you know, he's really offering value. Not only is there a tremendous amount of stuff, I mean, it could take you literally days to look through all of it, but all of it offers great value. There's a good reason why he's here. Coming to grips just with the technical aspects. You're already a monster player. You've got all this great experience. Now you got to learn about lighting. You got to learn about white balance and color balance and framing, and you've got to learn this editing software. And I mean, it's from where I'm sitting, it's an incredibly steep learning curve. It looks like a mountain. What was that like for you?
So luckily, I enjoy it. I enjoyed learning that this part of, you know, content creation, which I didn't know if I would. I just started doing it, and I discovered that it was fun and interesting to learn. But yeah, I started small, if I remember correctly. When I started making videos, I don't even think iPhones were out yet. I might have had
Wow.
like just a camcorder. I probably had like a digital camcorder thing, and I
Like with
figured out,
tape?
yeah,
Wow.
like a digital what is it, mini DV, I think back then.
Yeah.
So I figured out a way to get a capture card going into the computer and all that stuff. But
That was very enterprising when the rest of us were just, I don't know, making homemade porn.
yeah, you start out slow, and you get one light from Amazon, and suddenly you get two lights from Amazon, and then you get two nicer lights from B&H Photo, and
Things have come a long way.
yeah, and a lot of it is I just watched YouTube tutorials on how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The same way people watch my
Wow.
videos to figure out how to play guitar or pedals and all that stuff.
So you didn't take classes, nothing like that?
No. Wow. I knew nothing about videography. I know very little about photography and aperture and all that stuff. So I just, buried myself in YouTube videos and message boards and whatnot, and just figured it out. And then eventually I bought the gear that I knew that I wanted, and it hasn't changed in like 5 or 6 years.
If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Which is, with guitar gear, I'm always buying pedals and guitars and amps and stuff.
Well, I'm gonna have to pick your brains later, but I see you've got like light meters on these boxes.
Those are, I don't know what those do. You just press it and it turns the light on. I don't know if it's a meter. It's just.
Well, I've been looking at these videos too, and people really like these things.
Yeah, and it's all remote control too, if I need it to be.
I think a lot of it too is just your ease, because I'm really self-conscious. I'm going to be taking out a lot of my idiotic stuttering. There's a perfectionist streak in me that's very deeply rooted, that's hard for me to cope with. Like, I'll do so many takes, and it just takes a lot of the fun out of it. It seems to me that a lot of the key to it is naturalness of presentation, not only because of the way that it comes off, but also you're getting throughput. You have your stuff set up, you get an idea, and you record it. And it's a muscle, right? Like the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, and it's also easier.
Me right now, sometimes it's just hell. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like the sight of my own face. For me, editing is absolute hell.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as the workflow goes, it does help that everything is already set up and ready to go, because there were times where, I was living in an apartment or something. So whenever I would have to do a demo, it would take me a couple hours just to set up everything.
Set up and get levels,
and just that friction alone slowing me down, it made it more difficult, and it was such a bummer. Nowadays, for the past couple of years, it's literally turn things on, boom, 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 and I'm ready to go. Which I kind of have it dialed in as far as my workflow.
What about graphics and stuff too? Like
so maybe there was a time where I did take web design classes, and part of it was learning how to use Photoshop. So I did have some background in Photoshop, but like all the graphic stuff, I just download it from, I buy it, in packs, and I download it. And learning video editing was probably the same way I had to learn audio and the DAWs, where I just kind of figured out what I needed to do, learn it, and that's it. And eventually you start learning more things that the software can do. But I don't know how to use this. Like, I'm not a pro at Final Cut Pro or anything.
I'm still using iMovie.
I just know what I need to do, and that's it. And if there's something,
and you figure it out.
Yeah. If there's a new thing that I want to learn, then I'll just go on YouTube and figure out how to do it.
And now we're coming to the part of the interview where we roast my channel.
Uh-oh. How evil do you want me to be?
You can be. The thing is that you're so nice.
I know.
You're so nice that I know that I'm safe. So I'm working a couple of different angles here. I'm not really a big gear reviewer, because like you and between you and Pete Thorne, you sort of have it covered. You guys do it so great that I don't feel like I really need to. Let me see. This is a tutorial that I just shot. Yeah, this is Why You Can't Jazz, a 5-minute fix for the rock guitarist.
Well, I love that it's 5 minutes, because my attention span is about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's honestly, a lot of people drop off.
Especially when it comes to jazz.
A lot of people drop off right after this intro.
Audio sounds great.
That's right into Logic.
I like the licks. Visually, it looks great. Lighting is good. Okay, pause it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that I noticed
Mhm.
that I also fall into sometimes
Mhm.
is looking at the camera monitor when I'm playing.
Yes.
That's a habit that sometimes it feels like I can tell that you're looking at the camera monitor because I've done it before.
Right. I didn't like the way I looked when I was looking at my fingers.
I've been self-conscious too, where I've had to do like massive editing and cropping where like I have a habit where I'm playing guitar and I lean over way too much where you can't even see
Yeah.
the guitar.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh my gosh. And then all you see is like the crown of my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's an awful shot. But that's like how I naturally play.
Yeah.
So the fix for that would be to move the camera in a different way just in case I do this to where it gets that. There was a time where I didn't care about my appearance, but now I am caring more about my appearance,
Mhm.
which is interesting. So it's almost like we both have to find that middle ground of like,
Well, you
it's,
look
it's
cool
good
as-
enough.
You look cool as hell, man. Your tats are like, your ink is amazing.
Oh,
You're really fit.
These are old. Thank you.
But yeah, I think I just need to get over myself. But thanks for that input.
Hey everybody, today we're going to explore a way to get some jazzy sounds into our playing. Be sure to stick around to the end.
Audio sounds
because
great.
I'll leave you with an exercise that I wish somebody had
Is it
given me
these?
years
It's this.
ago.
That's
I'm gonna
great.
say,
That sounds
if you're
better
a
than
rock
the
slash
DJI
blues
mics.
player, melodic scales,
Are you
need to
reading a
weave
script or
everything together
anything?
pretty
Because this
seamlessly.
looks very
When you
natural.
try
I like
to
5-minute lessons.
Mhm.
That's like,
Yeah, yours
That's
are
my
great
kinda
that way.
thing.
You focus on one thing and you knock it out.
yeah. That's what I learned. Like sometimes I've probably done like 20-minute lessons on something,
Mhm.
like deep dive things.
Mhm.
But for me personally, as like a player, if it's a snippet of a lesson, that's awesome.
Well, also, it's teaser. I mean, you sell courses. So you don't want to give all this stuff
Oh,
away
yeah.
for free.
The suggestion would be to widen your shot so you could have the guitar, your
Mhm.
hands in the shot for those
Yeah.
for the 335 shots. I know you did that with the Anderson shot, which is perfect.
Yeah.
But just as a safety precaution, I always keep it wider.
Yeah.
You know, shoot them wider.
So this is an interview that I did. This is episode 1 of this interview series that I'm doing, which
Is this it?
RJ is number 3.
All right.
And this is the first one that I did.
Hey everybody,
With our friend
welcome to
Ricky
the pilot
Dover
episode of my
Jr.
new series, Nashville Guitar Stories.
That's a good shot.
Ricky Dover Jr.
I like the
Not only
lighting
does he
and the
need absolute
curtain.
body-
It
That's
looks
the-
good.
that's an
The
iPhone.
colors look good.
I need it.
That's before I got this camera.
Guitar therapy.
So I couldn't use any of the wide shot because, as you can see, it really looked like shit. So I've got, for the next half hour, it's just one shot of Ricky. And that's,
Well, go back to your wide shot. It didn't look that bad. Did it just like fuck up or something at some point?
well, also the battery ran out. In the
Oh
middle.
yeah.
So I just decided, rather than try to sync them to sync them and edit them together, I was just like,
Just one shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
fuck it.
whatever you can do to make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a trick.
Mhm.
What you could have also have done is faked asking him the questions like after you filmed
and insert it.
I've never done that personally, but I would have said that would have been a cool trick.
That's something that occurred to me today. That might be a good workaround.
That'd be cool.
Because he was really cool. He's not the problem. I'm the problem. The problem is
The host
me.
is always the problem. Trust me, I know these things.
But he had some great stories.
No, he's a great guy. Great
Yeah,
player.
he's an awesome guy too. Real sweetheart.
I think visually it looks great.
Yeah.
Audio is great. These things I might have to buy.
Now this, the intro shot, I actually was reading off a teleprompter, and I did it. I got some AI software that did an iFix.
Hey, you got to show me that.
It looks really weird. There's something uncanny. There's something
Let's see.
uncanny valley about it.
New series, Nashville Guitar Stories.
How? I mean, it
Today,
looks
it's my
totally
great
natural,
pleasure.
but how long did it take to render?
Not long. Render
So
one
you-
shot like that if it's just the intro.
Yeah.
It's not long at all. I can't handle big files, but for something short
like
like
a
that, for a
30
short
seconds
intro,
or
it's
something?
fine.
One of
It's
my-
cool.
Well, if you're buying it, then it gets.
I
a
mean,
pass.
you sold me. I wouldn't have known.
You wouldn't have known. Okay,
No.
that's good. So this is a gear demo that I did. I do gear demos very rarely.
Uh-huh.
It's one that I did on the ZVEX Viber phase. Zach's an old friend of mine.
Hey everybody,
Oh,
it's
nice.
Tristan, a guitarist here in Nashville.
So speaking of very wide, you can see that this is the iPad and it's the wide angle.
Mhm.
It's the only way I can get it in. So when I wave my hand around it, it looks gigantic.
I didn't even notice that either. Yeah. What is that guitar?
Oh, that's the Chibanez.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm a not.
Yeah, audio is great.
Yeah, it's right into Logic.
What you could do, I don't know if you can do that in iMovie, but if you have that, you can keep that shot of the pedal and
With the
then
settings.
superimpose it on this your playing shot. So
I just learned how to do that. So you have an insert.
yeah.
So people
That's all I would do.
People have time to dial in the settings. But honestly, a lot of the difference in tone is changing the guitar and also changing the way you play. If you look at the two settings, like spoiler, they're not that different.
Really?
Yeah.
So between Eddie and the Brian May thing, yeah, you're right. Now that I'm hearing it in my head, I'm like, yeah, that sweep is pretty
Different amp model, different guitar, and different vocabulary. It's
yeah,
like,
but similar.
pedals don't really matter all that much. Don't tell anybody. Well, they do. I think if pedals inspire you.
There's pedals that will make me write songs,
Oh, for sure.
you know? And those are the best ones. And then there's obviously, just kind of your standard pedals, but a lot of times, and they don't have to be weird pedals.
Mhm.
It could be as something as like a slapback echo or something.
Mhm.
But it just, they can be, like I tell people, like guitar pedals are another instrument that you have to learn.
Yeah.
And learn how to play it.
Also, Ostrander said something that I really like, which is that pedals don't actually do anything. It's what you do with them. What matters is that you can do what you want, you can get what you want out of it, and then you can do it quickly. There is a lot to be said for that, because I've got a Tone X1 and I've got the Airstep TX, and I saw your video on it. I know you like the thing, but I am just having a hell of a time with it. I want to throw it out the window.
Is that that's Bluetooth, right?
Yeah, and there's something I can't get any of the elements to talk to each other. It's supposed to be plug and play. It's not. There's really something so tactile about just reaching down and turning a knob and it does a thing.
I would definitely never trust Bluetooth on any gig.
Yeah.
Just I don't trust Bluetooth on my phone. I'm not gonna trust it on a wireless pedal situation.
Well, this is a backup. For fly days, I want my backup to be this big.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a miniaturist.
Oh yeah.
I love stuff that's tiny. That's the new arms race, right? It used to be who had the biggest stack. And now it's like somebody comes on stage and they've got something that's like, and then I come out and I'm like,
mine's smaller.
Mine's smaller than yours.
Remember when cell phones first came out and there was like a period where it's like, who can make the smallest cell phone? Mm-hmm. And then it got to the point where like you can get a Nokia that was like this big.
Zoolander.
Yeah. Or like that Will Ferrell thing.
Well, speaking of good things in small packages, I didn't want to come empty-handed, so I brought you a present.
No way.
Yeah. I got you a Dumble.
Where is it? Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dumble.
Let me see. It does say Dumble.
I've got an Archer on my board, which does pretty much the same thing, but this does something very similar for literally a tenth of the price.
Let's see if we can hook this up. Strat sound good?
Yep.
So that's clean.
Oh, your bass tone is so good. Oh my God.
You play around with it. I have the volume down. Yeah.
Off. On.
There is a tube screamer quality to it.
It's kind of mid-forward.
Yeah, which I like. I mean, especially with the Strat.
It doesn't have a lot of gain, but what it is, it's like an embiggener. It just kind of fattens it up.
Yeah, well, I kind of like that because it's almost like in a clon situation, I like to use a clon just to give me that edge of breakup when I have a clean amp, So like
that's how I use it too. That's how I use the Archer, and this does something really similar.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
Just kind of fills out the ones and zeros, It gives it some what do the kids say? Some zhezh. Some zhuzh.
I don't know.
Gives it
Cap.
some zhuzh, some cap.
Yeah. It makes your clean sound more better.
Yeah,
basically.
it's like a loudness button.
Exactly. Oh, I sound like John Mayer now.
See, $20.
That's not bad.
Good tone does not have to
I
be
mean, this is
expensive.
not a paid ad for whoever makes this Dumble pedal, but
I think
it sounds pretty good.
it's an iSet. Now they call it something else for some reason. Added a letter or something.
It's crazy how, I mean, some people might say that a bigger pedal company could make something that sounds exactly like that and sell it for like $300. Or you can go on Amazon and get something made in China for $20.
I know. It's absolutely terrible.
That's insane.
But it just kind of reminds me a little bit of the Behringer Centaur. Obviously, it's not an exact clone. It's a approximation. But just the fact that Behringer was so bold, they just to use the name.
Yeah.
And then they get sued. Then they change the name. In the meantime, they got all this free publicity.
Yep.
I just thought it was hilarious. The Dumble.
The pedal community is amazing. It's like, to me, it feels like collecting Matchbox cars or something, where it's just like, it's for guitar players. It's the most accessible purchase
Yeah.
that you can do consistently. Well, somewhat consistently, where it's like, new pedal every month or so.
But with foundational tribes especially, I've been through 8.
For, my always on drive.
Yeah, and this ain't bad. This is not bad at all. It flew under the radar. I mean, I don't think that Dumbles, whoever's...
They're caring about a $20 Chinese
No,
pedal.
no, it's not like Behringer who went after
they're
Klon like really aggressively.
Wow.
Right?
That's not bad. Well, thank you for showing it to me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me
Absolutely, man.
and for
Anytime.
allowing
It's been a
me
while.
into your inner sanctum. This has been an incredibly educational experience for me. I hope it has for you too. You're amazing.
Thanks, Tristan.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
You're a prince. Peace.
Yeah, man.